If you heard someone humming from inside your walls, would you listen or run? I never believed in haunted places. Ghost stories? Sure. Creepy movies? Of course. But an actual haunted apartment? No way. That changed when I moved into Unit 6B. It was supposed to be a temporary move. 3 months, tops. A friend of a friend had the place and needed someone to watch it while he was away. Dirt cheap, fully furnished, utilities included. I'd have been stupid not to take it. The first thing I noticed was the silence. Not peaceful silence. The wrong kind. Too quiet, like the walls were listening. The second thing was the smell, like stale perfume and mildew. Old but not empty. I brushed it off. Maybe the building just had bad ventilation. It was built in the 1950s. Still had one of those creaky elevators with the folding gate. I moved in on a Sunday. The first night I heard humming. A soft voice, melodic and slow, like an old lullaby. It was coming through the walls. At first I thought it was a neighbor, but when I pressed my ear to the wall, it wasn't coming from the other side. It was coming from inside the wall. I told myself I was tired, jet lag, overthinking. I put in earbuds and went to sleep. The next morning I noticed something weird in the hallway. A line of old nails along the baseboard, evenly spaced, like something had once been nailed shut, then pried open. That night I heard the humming again. This time it was closer, slower, right behind my bedroom wall. It kept me up until almost 4 a.m. Then just as I was finally drifting off, I heard scratching, faint at first, then more urgent, like fingernails clawing at the inside of the drywall. I didn't sleep. By the third day, things started disappearing. Small things at first, my toothbrush, a sock, a spoon from the drawer. Then I found them again, in strange places. The spoon was in the fridge, the toothbrush in the kitchen sink, soaking in something that smelled like flowers and rot. And the sock, tied in a knot, tucked under the bathroom rug. I thought I was losing my mind. Then came the photo. It was an old Polaroid slipped under my door. No note, just the photo. It showed a woman standing in my kitchen. Only, I'd never seen her before. She had long, tangled black hair, and her dress looked soaked, like she'd just come in from the rain. But the kitchen in the photo, it looked exactly like mine. Same fridge magnets, same chipped tile. Only the wallpaper was different. Faded green flowers, not the dull gray I had. The next night, the humming turned into whispering. I couldn't understand the words at first. Then I heard it clearly. "He locked me in here." The voice was right behind my headboard. I slept on the couch. At this point, I started digging. Looked up everything I could about the building. There wasn't much, just a couple of vague articles from the 1970s. But one stood out. Woman missing after roommate reports strange behavior. Apartment 6B. Her name was Elaine Morris. Vanished in 1978. Her roommate claimed Elaine had become paranoid, said he was watching her from the walls. She started hammering nails into the baseboards, painting over mirrors, whispering to herself. Then one day, she was gone. Roommate said she must have run off. The police never found a body, but neighbors swore they still heard her voice at night, humming, scratching, crying. After that, the apartment sat empty for years, until the building was sold and remodeled. They covered the story up, changed the wallpaper, repainted, forgot. I hadn't, because now I knew where she'd gone. She was still there, in the walls. That night I stayed up, no earbuds, no lights, just waiting. At exactly 3:11 a.m., I heard the humming again. This time I followed it, tracked the sound along the baseboard until I found the loose panel, a small square of drywall behind the fridge. I pulled it off with my bare hands. Behind it was a narrow gap between the studs, too small for anyone to fit through. But something had. Inside I found fingernail scratches, dried blood, and hair. Someone had been in there, someone who never left. Then I saw the eye, a human eye staring back at me through the crack. It blinked. I stumbled back and slammed the panel shut. But the next morning my fridge was moved 6 inches away from the wall, and carved into the floor beneath it was one word, stay. I didn't. I packed everything and left that day. Never looked back. Didn't even tell my friend. But last week, I got a package. No return address. Inside was another photo. Polaroid. This time it was me, standing in front of the wall where I found the panel. Only in the photo. The wall was gone, and behind me, Elaine was smiling.